High is my rock.
My rock.
The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock.
My rock.
The Most High is my rock. Yeah, yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on top. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece.
All right, Shalom Israel. Shalom. Welcome to another class with the Israelite School of Biblical History Practical Knowledge. We're going to go ahead and get rolling. Let's get out the link. And we're going to do like we always do. If you have any questions, you guys, you brothers and sisters can answer them before we get class rolling. If not, we're going to go ahead and go directly into the topic. So let me get out the link myself. I mean, this point in time, brothers and sisters should be subscribing to the channel. But we're going to go ahead and get out the link to these new brothers that I know local here. Let's see here. All right, while we're doing that, we have Feast of Tabernacles coming up, 9/27. A reminder, we have Feast of Tabernacles coming up 9/27. So if y'all want to come join us, if you're local here in Virginia, if you're local in Houston, you can come join us for class. Join us for the feast. That's on 9/27. Feast of Tabernacles, man. Y'all got to follow the High Holy Days. And if you don't got nobody to do it with, if you feel like we are in the same mind and same judgment, be free. Feel free to come join us. All right. We also have our other channel that has a lot more subscribers, viewers, a lot more videos. It's the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. It's the acronym spelled fully out. You brothers and sisters can check that out. Let me switch these chairs. I feel like I'm tall as heck. Oh, it sounds really good? Yeah, because the mic is that sounds better because the mic is right here. Let me see. Did I say tabernacles? Trumpets. Forgive me. Trumpets. Memorial blowing of the trumpets. It's the T's. Memorial blowing of the trumpets is coming up 9/27. All right. So that's, you can come join us for that. Also, Mashaba has a blog talk radio. blogtalkradio.com/MASHAHBA. You can check that out. A lot of old classes on there, old topics. It's not for the weary or the faint-hearted. They go in, they have a lot of good topics on Blog Talk Radio. If you want to submerge yourself, try to keep your mind, in the Word, you got Blog Talk Radio, you got this channel, you got the other channel. Albuquerque is going up. They're trying to get theirs rolling. San Antonio is trying to get theirs rolling. So we're just trying to do our part, get the word out there. All right. Check out ISBHPK Kids for all the other kids topics. We're going to revamp that very soon and get some more classes out pertaining to the kids. All right. What else? We always want to thank all the brothers and sisters for donating, helping out with the school, whether it's in Houston or here. Whatever you give, we appreciate that. We got the books, we got the papers that you sent out. Whoever sent that stuff out, we appreciate that. And as always, the Wadi Yahweh Shai for y'all help. Sit upright, man. Sit upright. I'm talking to my son for y'all online. Let me see here. Class is Monday. Class out here in Virginia is Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And then Houston has every other day. Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays online. So check it out. It's from 7 to 10. And subscribe, like, share a lot of the topics. We're trying to get a good playlist going as far as different topics. So look out for that also. We got somebody working on that, trying to get that rolling. All right. Other than that, we're going to start out with questions and get this class rolling. I got a good class. I got a good topic. It came up. I met this brother in the mall, the brother Darius, and we've been rapping for the last few days. And this is a topic that came up because when you're new, you start going down the rabbit hole of YouTube, and I'm sure Israelite stuff popped up. So this is a good topic that is for a lot of brothers and sisters, especially new ones. Did we have any questions? What we got?
Can you break down Romans 14 and 17?
Romans 14 and 17. Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Who is it, man? Brother?
He's saying, it's not saying there will be no eating and drinking in the kingdom, or is it saying we should be concerned about the spiritual things that happen in the kingdom?
Romans 14 and 17. Read that for me, Shamayar, please.
Romans chapter 14, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
For the kingdom of the Most High is not meat and drink, but righteousness and peace.
Right. Obviously, we're going to eat in the kingdom, right? When you go to all the common chapters we always go to, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61, Revelations, what is it? I think it's 19 about the kingdom being paved in gold. All these scriptures, when we talk about the kingdom is us in the kingdom rejoicing in the flesh, in this same flesh, but twinkle to be in the spirit, like Yahushua walked. Yahushua was in the flesh, but he wasn't ruled by the flesh. So he knew how to control it and power over it. But there is going to be us here in the flesh. We're going to be eating. We're going to be sleeping. We're going to have women. We're going to have husbands. We're going to have children. And we've been over this topic so many times that you got to remember. Go back to all those scriptures and you will see that. To think about it, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. That's carnal aspect of what we're going to be physically doing. A person's going to live 1,000 years. That's carnal. We're going to be doing the carnal aspects that the body needs, and that we live in. But we're not going to be ruled by the carnal flesh to where now we're committing adultery, murder. We're doing we're betraying. We're giving up the truth for these carnal things. And that's what this reminder is. Read it again.
For the kingdom of the Most High is not meat and drink.
Meaning it's not carnal. It's, if you thought the only reason I wanted to get to the kingdom of the Most High is to have all gold fronts, you got problems. The only reason why I want to get to the kingdom of the Most High is because I want to whoop on the white man. Yeah, that's carnal. That's going to get boring after a while anyway. You're going to be bored with that. You're going to want to be more than that. The kingdom is more than that. It's spiritual. It's about all the spiritual things that the Most High has prepared for us. Just the simple fact of rejoicing, not having to worry about wickedness and evil and sin. That in itself is a reason to understand that it's not just about the carnal things of the kingdom that are going to be there. The whatever chariots you're going to fly in and things of that nature, and the spiritual power you're going to have. It shouldn't just be based on these things, because if it is, then you're not going to understand now why to hate the evil and love the good. So read that one more time.
For the kingdom of the Most High is not meat and drink.
The kingdom of the Most High is just not about food and drinking and feeding the flesh. Go ahead.
But righteousness and peace.
There you go. You see that? But righteousness and peace. You see, it ain't going to be, it's not about, I'm just there and it's to have a good time. You see, because that's the mind state of a lot of people in the world. Oh, I want to just get to heaven, so in heaven I can do whatever I want to do and be whatever I want to be. The kingdom of heaven is righteousness. Go ahead.
And joy in the Holy Spirit.
And joy in the what?
Holy Spirit.
So, joy in the true spirit. Do we have joy in these things now? Does that mind state now settle in us that way it can transcend to the kingdom? That's what mind state we're supposed to be in the Holy Spirit. When I open up my book, when I feel the words that enter into my mind, the change, the ideals that change my life, my spirit, my thoughts, when I don't let anger, bitterness, division, negative rule me, how do I feel? Do I feel great? Or is it the only way I feel great is it when I'm eating, drinking, liquor, sex, carnal things? And then every other time when I open the Bible, it's what? Oh, there you go again, telling me about myself. I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm upset. It don't supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be having joy every time we open up this book and know that the Most High is going to renew us, and this Holy Spirit is renewing us. So, was that it on that? Okay. And the reason why I didn't go over scriptures with this is because I'm going to really want to get this class out. I mean, if you want me to further edify, we can. That's not a problem. Y'all know that. There's many scriptures that we can go over to show you about the flesh, about the spirit, about where we're supposed to be rejoicing in and taking pride in. All right, so that's it? Uh-huh.
Can you give a quick breakdown on the meaning of Ephesians 6 and 4?
Ephesians 6 and 4, let's go there.
Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath,
Right.
but bring them up in the nurture and admonishing of the Lord.
Right. Provoke not your children to wrath. Scripture that pops into the mind is it's in the Apocrypha. This is Ecclesiastes 33. Start at Start at 24. Ecclesiastes 33, verse 24 in the Apocrypha.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 24. Father, a woman.
No. Read it again.
Father.
Fodder. Right.
A woman and burdens are for the ass. And bread, correction, and work for a servant.
So fodder, food or dry food for cattle, horse and sheep, hay, okay, this ain't the correct definition. So a fodder and wine, it's like you whip the animal along, you whip the horse along. The definition I got is wrong. They're talking about food. I'm gonna look up fodder. Okay, so I stand corrected. The wand is, but the food is like to get the animal going. I thought there was another definition for fodder. I didn't look this up before. I could be wrong though. I thought it was talking along the sort of like a whoop. That's fine. Read it again. So it's speaking of the food. Like you give if you want this animal to move or you want to get this cattle to move, you give them food. Go ahead. Fodder.
A wand.
And in the wand, we know what the wand is. That's the tap them. You know what I mean? Whoop them on the side. Go ahead.
And burdens are for the ass.
Right, and burdens are for the ass. So you put those burdens on the ass to work. Go ahead.
And bread, correction, and
right,
work.
And bread, correction. Go ahead.
And work for a servant.
Right. So remember, your child and is going to edify. Child is a form of the servant. Right. The scriptures say in Galatians 3 that the child, he's not an heir until he's under the tutors. Well, this is what you're doing as a father. You're tutoring your child, right? Train up a child in the way which he shall go. You're tutoring him, right? You're leading him along. Okay? It's going to get to that point also. Go ahead.
If thou set thy servant to labor,
right?
Thou shalt find rest.
So it's basically saying that all through the scriptures, without going about the children, you got to be able to send your servant to labor. Why? Because idle mind teach much evil. You playing video games all day? We have to deal with my kids. You playing video games all day? It ain't going to work. You got to get your mind in the right place. They don't understand that as young children, that they're feeding their brain. So you got to send them to work. To do what? Things that are going to be productive for the household, family, for the nation. That's what we're doing. Training up a child. You send them to go study. Go read this chapter. Go read that chapter. Go ahead.
But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty.
Yeah, because when you let him go idle, what do? Listen, don't play on your no more games. Here, go upstairs and look at YouTube for about 30 minutes of somebody else playing the game. 2 hours playing the game. Or they'll sit on Netflix trying to look at series all day. And they won't fill their mind. That idle mind will take over. And what is the world dealing with? They know how to capture that idle mind of the kids and start controlling it in the way. So now you got kids, you're the bad guy because you won't let me play games, but America's the good guy because they understand and let me do what I want to do. The kids don't understand that the white man is trying to take control of their mind to divide the families and the households, to keep negative and keep division going. Go ahead.
A yoke and a calling who bow the neck.
Right?
So are tortures and torments for an evil servant.
Now it's telling you about a wicked servant. It tells you about a rebellious child. Right? It tells you in Ecclesiastes, the 30th chapter, on how to deal with the child. You get this rebellious child, it's the same way. You see that? For that servant. Now, we know nobody's supposed to be torturing anybody. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Don't torture your kids, because that ain't going to work. But they do need discipline. It says, though you beat them, they shall surely not die. So, yeah, you might whoop them here and there. You don't want to turn them black and purple to where they feel abused. You got to have a correct balance in your household, like in all the scriptures. Being able to raise your children with balance, wisdom, and understanding. So this goes back to that scripture he said. So read that scripture that they asked of. Say where you're at. Say where you're at. Read that.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 3.
Go ahead.
And verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
Right. It's going to tell us how. Read on.
But bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Right. So don't provoke them to wrath. How do you get them angry? How would you get anybody or a servant angry? Watch. It's going to read back on in Ecclesiasticus. Go ahead.
A yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant.
Go ahead.
Send him to labor, that he be not idle.
Go ahead.
For idleness teacheth much evil.
Right. So you see that, right? So idleness teaches much evil. Go ahead.
Set him to work, as it be for him. If he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters.
Right, because he doesn't understand that you can't leave your mind idle. Go ahead.
But be not excessive toward him.
And this is the point I was getting to. If you're doing all this, and what are you going to provoke in that individual or that child? You're going to provoke anger, bitterness, frustration. Why? Because you're doing too much. If you put too much weight on an ass, that ass might just stop right there. They might not move at all because it's too much for them to bear. So you got to know your children. You got to know that servant and know, okay, I can't put and be excessive to this person because their mind can't handle this. Right? That's why when you look at your kids, you weigh them out and you understand. You might have 3 or 4 sons. You'll be able to say, okay, this son can handle it. This son can handle it. But this one, I got to build that into him to be able to handle this burden. Right? Or if not, what's going to happen? Read it back in Ephesians.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Right. See, you got to nurture them. You got to nurture. It's funny. I was just talking to the brother in Philly about this. We were talking about the same thing about nurturing. It takes nurture. Now, nurture don't mean all the time you're soft, and you're timid. It means the correct balance of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discipline, patience, kindness, and long suffering. You see what I'm saying? So, like my son is begging me for a butt whooping because it's been long overdue. You see what I'm saying? He's begging. Why? Because now I'm having to talk to him too much. So, but he ain't got whooped in months. So it's not an get the belt, pop, 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 get the belt, pop, 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 and everything you do. No, it's talking to him. Okay, listen, we deal with wisdom. You don't want to deal with wisdom, you want to act like an animal, then I'm going to get the belt. Talk to him. But then when he gets that belt, it's going to be on him. He's going to remember that for a few days. Like, dang, Father is giving me the wisdom and understanding and communicating with me. And I'm taking that for granted. So now he got to put the beat down on me. So it's not to where it's always a butt whooping and it's like, damn, you don't give me a break. It's not always a punishment and then it's like, wow, I don't get a chance. So not to frustrate him, not to make him angry, but to show him that the correct way to be disciplined, because he's going to do that for his kids. Now our children, our fathers, especially the 70s babies. They believed in, listen, they ain't talk to you. They ain't talk to you. They was like, listen, go get the extension cord. Go get the switch. And you get beat. Then afterwards, they might tell you what, or during that, they might tell you why you're getting whooped. But that's not wisdom. You know what I mean? The Bible, the knowledge of the scriptures is wisdom. It says an unjust balance is wickedness. So we got to be able to balance out how much we give discipline and how much we give kindness. Ecclesiastes, the 30th chapter, go directly into that topic. So this is what it's saying. Don't be excessive to any. You know what I mean? Whether it be a servant or whether it be your children. You know what I mean? You can't be overboard. Because afterwards, what you realize is this. A lot of parents that are excessive. And like for instance, in our household, we went vegan. We went vegan and try to stay away from the meat and try to stay away from all that. And yeah, it helped them out. You know, they gained certain traits and attributes that were necessary. But what we realized is that when we did once a month or 2 months, we did give them chicken, right? They'd be like carnivores. They'd be eating the chicken like it was their last chicken ever to be eaten. So what we seen was, okay, we got to apply balance. Because what's going to happen is, if we do this till they're 18 or 19, then when they get older, they're not going to be balanced. All they're going to do is go out and be chicken heads and eat bad and eat bad foods. But now, because we applied the balance, we can see our oldest, she's listening and saying, you know what? Damn, I got to eat right. They're letting me eat these things, but now I'm breaking out. My face, I'm looking at my body. I'm getting unhealthy the way I feel. I'm not able to function like I want to. She's able to see the balance, and now, without telling her, she's able to apply the wisdom and say, you know what? I'm going to check my diet. I'm going to check how I eat. So that's because we weren't excessive and we were balanced like the scriptures say. So it just brings a better balance in your household as opposed to you giving them too many bad whoopings, too many butt whoopings. Then what do they want to do with their kids? They're excessive with their kids. I'm going to beat them all the time, and that's the way you bring it. You got to whoop them, brother. That's not what the scriptures say. It says be not excessive to any. And that's on both pendulums, right? You can't cocker or play with them too much, and then you can't be whooping them all the time too much. But it's got to be a balance. So that's what it means. And that's what it's saying in Ephesians. They're going to get to that point. If you're excessive, they're going to get to this point of being angry, being bitter, and all those things. All right, was that it on that? Okay, go ahead.
The next one,
Yeah, that's it on that. That's it on that. Go ahead. 1 Corinthians 7:14. 1 Corinthians 7:14.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Right. So let's go to 7 and 7. Let's start from there so we can get some context of the chapter, and it can lead us to the point that is going to make more sense as opposed to jumping right in. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 7. For I would that all men were even as I myself.
Right.
But every man had his proper gift from God.
Right. So Paul, he was a man that didn't deal with women. Okay? He didn't deal with no women. And he was trying to provoke through a righteous way to provoke the people around them, because he knew the problems that came with marriage and relationships. So he was like, I wish y'all were like me. I wish y'all didn't deal with nobody. Right? But he understood all men, all women don't have that gift. Some of us can't contain. Go ahead.
One after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I.
So there you go. It'd be good if you abide that way. And this is where the Roman Catholic Church got it wrong. You don't have to go up there and not be married. You don't have to go up there and be forced in a situation to where your lust is overpowering you. That's not what the scriptures say. Nowhere through the Bible says that. And Paul is making it clear. He's going to make it clear this is not a commandment. Okay? But it would be good if you can do it like I'm doing it. Go ahead.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot obtain,
if they cannot contain, go ahead.
Let them marry.
Let them what?
Let them marry.
If they can't control that urge, then you don't got the gift. You don't have the gift. If you can't contain, you don't got it. You're sitting there, you're thinking about a woman, you're thinking about a man, you're burning, it's leading you into improper avenues to relieve your stress, then you don't have that gift. Go ahead.
For it is better to marry than to burn.
Go ahead.
And unto the married I command, yet not I.
Right.
The Lord.
Right.
Let not the wife depart from her husband. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband.
Right. So you can't just leave your husband. Right? You can't just leave your husband. If you come to this situation to where your husband has left the knowledge, he drew back, he put his hand to the plow, and he does like Lot's wife. He looks back and says, you know what? There are things out there in the world that I haven't let go. The scriptures tell us the weak and beggarly elements. You know what? I need more money. I need more freedom. All this prisoner for Christ, I'm not on that. All this discipline and restraint that I got to go through to live this life, I don't want to do that. So he's looking back. He puts his hand in the works, and then he draws back. Oh, you know what? That's not going to get me to the kingdom. Yeah, it is. The works of the Most High, the works in the ministry, the charity and love in the body, that is only going to get us in the kingdom. Because it's not you just, if it was the law would have got you into the kingdom. That's part of it. It's you keeping the law and you keeping the faith also. So that's a whole nother topic. You might get that person that wants to draw back. So what does it say? Verse 11.
But if she depart, let her remain unmarried.
Right. So, but unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. He leaves. Don't just pull away right away. You understand? The scriptures tell you only a division, a separation. I want you to give me that Shamayar, except it be for fornication. Let's pull that one real quick. This is the only time you can separate and leave. Because otherwise, if there is a understanding between y'all that he's not going to bring Christmas into the house, he's not going to be bringing drugs into your family, he's not bringing other gods, he's not abusing you or beating you, right? There's got to be an understanding, because we know this is insane. If he's whooping you and punching you upside the head, it's okay. No, because that's not in the knowledge. That's not the scriptures. So read this where you at.
Matthew chapter 19 verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication,
right,
and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doth commit adultery.
Right. So the scriptures is showing us that it has to be for fornication. The only way you can leave this man or leave this woman is she's out there sleeping around with every man, worshiping other gods, deities, philosophies, right? And you don't want to be around that. They bringing pork in the house, Christmas in the house, right? he's out there bouncing from women to women and trying to use the Bible as you know what? A man can have more than one wife. Nah. That's a man in the knowledge, not no whoremongering ass Negro that is trying to use the Bible to fornicate with women and go from women to women to women. That it don't work like that. You see? So that's the only time you can't leave this person. If she's running around being a whore, she's running around dealing with other gods and trying to bring Christmas in the house, he's doing the same thing, then you can leave. Except it be for fornication. Go ahead.
And shall marry another committed adultery.
Right. So what you're doing is creating that spirit of adultery. Because it's funny, I don't know who's asking this question, but that's what we're having to constantly check in our school. We're having to constantly check these young men about how they're going out and trying to deal with every woman with no knowledge. And then next you know she's wicked, she's off. But you're jumping into the sack with these women with no wisdom and no knowledge. You're jumping into the sack with these women, and now they're committing now you're committing fornication, and now it's adultery. Why? Because you leave her, you get with her. Oh, she's wicked, she's off. You should have knew that before you got with her. You should have prepared yourself. You should have did things the right way. Just like Quatazab went over, Priest Quatazab on the last class he went over about, now you're jumping in the sack with this woman. You're not betrothing them. You're not being engaged with them. You're just meeting them. Then you sleep with them. And then next you know, oh, she's wicked, she's off. And then you're out of there. I'm going to go get me a woman that wants to. And you do that with the same woman. And then you do that with the same woman. That's fornication, bruh. You're being wicked as hell. All right? So let's jump back. Go back to 1 Corinthians. Go ahead. Verse 11.
But if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband.
Right, so this woman wasn't supposed to go deal with another man. She wasn't supposed to do it. And this shows you right here the reason why it's pointing out the woman, because it wasn't allowed for a woman to go have another man. But now, let's get this right. We know according to the Bible that Moses gave us the bill of divorce. And in these situations in our life, it ain't perfect. So you're going to get situations where divorce happens. Okay? Because the man is a psycho. The man is a killer, a drug dealer. He's beating you. He's doing drugs, selling drugs, bringing this into the house. It's going to be that situation. So remember, it's going to tell us, read.
And let not the husband put away his wife.
Go ahead.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother had a wife that believeth not,
right,
and she be pleased to dwell with him.
Right. Now, if there's a situation where you guys can get on common ground, right, common respect for what is needed for the children and the body of the household. Go ahead.
Let him not put her away.
You see that? So every situation outside of the fornication, if you guys can corral your family and there be an agreement in the household, then keep that marriage together. Keep that marriage together. Except it be for fornication, that's the only reason you can leave. All right, so remember that. Keep that in mind. What verse did they want? 14. Go ahead.
And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her.
Right, so you get these instances. Now, through my experience, they're rare. You're going to get these rare instances where you got a Hebrew Israelite man gets a black or Hispanic or Israelite woman that says, you know what? I'm really not what you're about, but I'm going to respect that. And I'm not going to bring Christmas in here, Thanksgiving, Halloween, pork, shrimp, crab, lobsters. I haven't seen it yet. Now, there's nothing impossible with God. Right? You know what I mean? There's nothing impossible, but I haven't seen it yet. And in the instance, he's telling us, if there is that, and you guys be pleased to dwell together, and there's some respect, then stay together. Go ahead.
And if you be pleased to dwell with her, let him not leave.
Right.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Right, meaning that now this woman is bringing the spirit in the home. She's keeping the house clean and righteous. She's keeping the kids righteous in the law, wisdom, and understanding. Right? Remember, he's talking about a situation where you guys come to some sense of agreement that it ain't going to be wickedness, fornication. It ain't going to be negative and wickedness in your house. That's what terms he's talking about. Go ahead.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy.
Right, because you come to an agreement. You come to an agreement that your house is not going to be divided, and division is created. That's what's going on here. So, if it be a case that you can agree, you can deal with each other, you can respect each other, then keep that marriage together. The Most High is going to honor that. Go ahead.
But if the unbelieving depart.
If the unbelieving depart, and I'm going to add, if the unbelieving, according to Matthew, is not fornicating, adulterous, bringing gods and religions and other things in your household, then if they depart in that way, you can't control that. You can't control somebody that say, "No, I ain't on that. Yeah, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna smoke crack, do weed, pop pills, pop mollies. I'm gonna go to the club, nigga. You ain't gonna tell me." Well, then the Most High is not gonna say, "You know what? Y'all gotta be together. Y'all gotta stick together." Nah. He said, if the unbelieving depart, let them depart. Go ahead.
Let them depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as God hath distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called every one, so let him walk. And so ordain I in all churches. Is any man called a certain
Right, hold on a second. So now we understand that you're not under bondage in those situations. The Most High has not called you to confusion and chaos and having your kids around madness or a destructive woman, a destructive man. The Most High is not with that. So you're free from that burden in the law. So, any other questions?
Ephesians 5 tells us men multiple times to love our wives. It seems that whenever the Most High or Yahushua has to repeat themselves, this is a point that Israel really needs to get. Our men does not get that.
Yeah, because a lot of times, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to do the disclaimer, we're not perfect either, okay? But a lot of schools don't teach a good balance of what is needed in the households. A lot of schools is not teaching the balance of the man and the women. They don't go through the scriptures and show the men how to really be a man and guide the house and use wisdom in the house. And they just go all at the women. So there's got to be a balance to show the men, listen, how you have to love your wife and carry yourself being a husband. It's got to be a balance done. Because if not, what's going to happen is you're going to have the men on this high horse and not really taking care of their duty as a husband. Okay? That being said, those that have wives be as though they have none doesn't go away. If any man love father, mother, brother, sister more than me is not worthy of me, those scriptures are not just put to the side. That doesn't mean that we supposed to be a sucker for love, and when she wants me there, and when it's vacation time, and when it's movie night, that succeeds and overrides my duty to the body, the church, and my nation. Just want to say that, because a lot of brothers think, well, it's movie night and I got to do class. You just had 40 years of movie night. You just had 40 years of movie night. Teach her what it is to be dedicated to the body, the truth, and the work. All I'm saying is that those, you can't, we definitely got to be good husbands. I consider myself a good husband. But my duty, my dedication is to the body and my rib and my family and my kids. They're next. Just like Yahushua said. So that means that my ribs, when movie night comes, then there will be movie night. When I got the opportunity at the time. When I'm on the phone counseling a man or a brother or a sister or a family, and it's movie night is no longer movie night. And if you're going to get angry at that, then you don't understand what I'm supposed to be dedicated to, which is the furtherance of my nation, my brothers, and my sisters. So, just to put things in perspective, I love my ribs. I try not to curse them out. I try not to be bitter and angry. I try to spend time. I try to teach them. But Yahushua, and this comes first. Right? Got to. Because I'm going to say this. We have a lot of men in our school that put their ribs and families before this knowledge. And they just got in the truth. That don't make sense. That don't make sense when you live 20 years with your rib in the world. You done went on vacations, you done baby on begging, roses, flowers, and all that. But now it's time to dedicate to Christ. And then it's like, well, it's rib time, huh? Y'all can't take rib time. You gotta be there for your wife too. Nah, bruh. It don't work like that. You're supposed to now give your life and your spirit and your dedication to the Most High. So, yes, there's got to be a balance, but which way, in this instance, which way I got to lean more? You got to lean more to Yahushua. It has to lean more to Yahushua. Or else why would the scripture come up and say, who is my mother and who is my brother? You know what I mean? If it was about, you know what? My family reunion is up. I'm sorry, bro. I know we've been on this path doing this work, but family reunion is more important now. Brothers be getting it twisted. So I'm hoping I'm bringing both sides of this and not trying to give anybody the occasion of the flesh to keep doing more fleshly things as opposed to giving yourself to the Spirit of the Most High, dedication to your service and duty over your family. That's because that's what it's supposed to be. The beautiful thing about me is I'm glad my family, my wives, my children are dedicated to this service also, because then there's no complaints. Because when my ribs were in here doing the school, it wasn't like, we don't spend no time together. What are we doing right now? That ain't real time. See, that's the difference between a wicked woman and a righteous woman. My ribs didn't do that. They didn't, all that time in the school, all that time in cleaning up the sanctuary, all the time in the feast, in the brotherhood. That ain't real time. I meant worldly time, where we go and we go do things in the world. See, I'm not satisfied. All you brothers that got women like that, that's why you're the sucker for love ass nigga, and you can't put them in order because you keep giving them what they want. This is going into another topic, and I don't want to go there. So, was that it? Any more questions? The what?
She said it's not easy to be a man, sister.
No, it's not easy to be a man. No, it's not. It's not easy because we got to balance things out, and the burden is more on us. Because you're right. Having to deal in this instance and make sure your wife is acknowledged, but Yahushua is first, It's a big job. It's a big duty. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand these things, that it's a lot of work. But I'm not crying. This is our job. This is our duty. I love it. You know what I mean? Think about it. When you were in the world, did you cry for it at the world? How many of you were doctors and lawyers, or just had to be, how about the night shift? You know what I mean? Did your rib complain about, oh, you know what? You got this night shift and we don't spend no time. No, she was happy as hell that checks were coming home, right? Why it ain't like that for the truth? See, it's a real manipulative spirit when it comes to the dedication of the knowledge. Then it's like, you don't spend time with me. You ain't here for me. But when it was for money, when it was for family reunions, when it was dope and drugs, and when it was some wickedness, then it was like, yeah, we're doing it. We're having fun. But the truth is order, discipline, restraint. Now it's a problem. Man, I can count on my hands is how many brothers and sisters got these problems because they want to put their family, rib, and children first before the Most High. And they won't move forward. You know what they'll do? They'll give the bare minimum. Because why? My job gets 70% of my time. The truth gets 10% of my time. And my rib, she at least got to get 20% if my job is getting the other. And that's how they weigh it. And then they won't dedicate themselves to their duty. Like if it was the white man's to be a doctor or lawyer, right? Or the white man's college, right? When it comes to the white man's college, they what? Oh, I got a paper to do. No, I got no time for that. It comes to being a lawyer, you shut everybody out. I got only 7 more years left, and you're gun-ho for that. I'm just trying to show y'all that manipulative soap opera BS that you try to play in your household, and weakening your man is going to get all of you put to death, because when Yahweh Shai come back and say, you know what? You put them before me. You made sure he put them before me. I never knew you. I said you need to put those things secondary. So it is a balance and it's hard. But I know this, Yahweh Shai is supposed to win in the end. Right? Or the woman's supposed to win? Hell no. They're not supposed to win. Alright. Is that it on that? On the questions? Okay.